Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, and I'm excited to have husband, father, Grammy and Dove Award-winning producer, writing, arranger. He's actually the director of music at the Music City Connection, which is the Huckabee show. And then he has OaktreeStudios.com. Mr. Tre Corley, how are you, brother?
Doing excellent. How are you today?
Man, I'm telling you, I just keep reading all this stuff off that you've accomplished.
Well, it's been pretty crazy, to be honest with you. God's really blessed our business and our family, so I definitely give him the credit, not me.
Yeah. Well, now he sees talent in you. There's no doubt. But now you've got a new thing y'all got out with the live performance that y'all released of the Music City Connections. What is that?
Oh yeah, we actually have 3 records out now.
Right.
One is called Live from the Theater. And if you look up Tre Corley and the Music City Connection, Live from the Theater, that actually is all performances with vocals and performances we've done through years, and Governor on bass. A lot of requests about the break music that we play, going to break and coming back, and how people only get to hear 20 or 30 seconds of it. So we have break sessions volume, so you can hear everything that's being played even when we go to break. It's actually pretty cool. So it's actually the music from the shows, live, mistakes and
Well, I like the mistakes. Of course, normally the band's the only one that realizes, hey, wait a minute, somebody hit an L in that instead of a,
yeah.
G. But anyway, no, that's great. I keep up with you, man. Blast to play with the Music City Connection, and not to mention all the different artists that y'all have on. I mean, you've had this, and you know, I think the last time we had you on, y'all had Meatloaf, which he just recently passed away. But
yes,
you've got to work with some cool people.
There's so many. It's hard. Somebody asked me, what was your favorite one? And I'm like, man, I don't have, there's so many that were just things that I'll never forget. So yes, it's been really mind blowing with the different people and artists you play with. It's been amazing.
So now let me ask you this question. Y'all normally play for the bands that come up there. I mean, do they come up 30 minutes before and just give you the sheet music and say, here, this is what we're doing? Or do they come up early? I mean, that's a pretty big deal having to play for all these guys.
It is definitely some pressure. And typically what happens is we'll talk a week before, maybe 2, and decide what music they're going to do. I'll chart it and get it together. But no, I don't meet the band or the artists that we're playing with till about 2 hours before the show. We just kind of do our homework and are super prepared.
Right.
And when they come in, if they want to make some changes, we can do it. Man, Nashville has some of the best musicians on the planet. I mean, there's a list of guys that could meet a little bit before and take care of it. So there's so many great players around here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, no doubt. And y'all got some great ones up there, man. I mean, no doubt. Y'all, I mean,
thank you.
I love watching the band. Y'all seem like y'all have so much fun. I mean,
we have a lot of fun.
The bass player seems a little weak to me.
You know what? It depends on which one's playing. When Gov's playing, it's definitely weak, and when Lori's playing, it's better.
But he does write the check, so I guess we gotta let him play.
Man.
Have you ever
I'm gonna
noticed?
Tell you something, man. He surprises me. He literally has played some really difficult stuff, and you'll notice when you're watching the show, if it's super difficult, but it's one of the artists that he absolutely loved and grew up with. It's like it's like he enjoys the challenge. And he does amazing at it. I've had several people say, is he really playing that? I'm like, yes, he actually is. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, too. I'm just picking on him. You know why bass players like to play in bands, right?
No.
They like to hang around musicians.
I'll have to tell him that one.
This from the man who had his own guitar taken away from him, Stephen, during a show.
Well, that did happen.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, I'm pretty fancy on guitar. I do like G, C, and D, and every now and then I throw in a C. I mean, a E or a F. Which one is that? The one that goes up.
See?
Yeah.
Exactly my point.
Look, now, how long have you been doing this?
As far as producing, playing, I started young. My brothers had a studio, so I grew up in a studio.
Right.
I played on my first record at 5. I was playing drums at 5 and 6, And I moved to Nashville when I was 19. But I was playing on records in Missouri, where I'm from originally, like Real Records 15 and 16. And of course, my brothers taught me a lot. And growing up in a studio your whole life, you just get better and better at it.
Ain't no doubt. Now you've got your own studio. Y'all actually, when you're not on the Huckabee Show, you're actually cutting records for people that come.
Yes, sir.
And that is
we own Oak Tree Productions in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and my brother and I own it together. We love making music, man. I love working with new artists.
Right.
That's just to me, it's a fun thing because you're creating something that their style or getting stuff. It's just fun.
I was thinking about calling you maybe and working with me a little bit on that. Do y'all have an auto tune?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
You'll need the best, most state-of-the-art version if you work with Steven.
And
it still work?
I speak from some experience, not your experience, but this is Jim Richter. I'm a sometime guest here, guest host, and I actually do have a small indie label, and I do actually do recording and production myself. So I can guarantee you're going to need tuning.
Yeah, as long as it comes out at the end, I'm good.
And I do have some questions. Are you self-taught? Do you read music? Do you have a degree?
So this is something I get asked a lot. They ask where I went to college, and the answer is I did not go to college. My brothers all played. I grew up learning drums from my brother Paul and my brother Sam. But my brother Sam was kind of the piano man. He was an amazing piano player. He passed away about a few years ago, and but he taught me so much on the piano that it literally, he taught me how to chart music, how to write numbers, how to write, and the Nashville way was numbers. So no, I do not have a degree, but I have many hours of doing it wrong, which helped me to learn how to do it right. It's truly a blessing because I know a lot of people that learned music and went to school for it. And I'm actually we intern here sometimes, people at the colleges. And I always get asked, where did you get your degree? And I don't say it boastfully. It's just, it was a lot of work in the studio and honestly, a lot of work in a computer and reading and learning from different musicians.
Well, I was just curious because I come from an extended musical family, and they're all classical musicians.
Oh, wow.
I had lessons. I studied at the Eastman School of Music, at least in high school. And,
yes, sir.
So I read and everything, but I'm the only one in my family who did a lot of the same that sounds like you did, where I learned how to play by ear. I learned how
yes, sir.
I think people who play by ear play better myself.
Not necessarily, but
I believe that.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but
No.
I can tell you this, all of my relatives, I mean, I got people that graduated from Juilliard and are concert virtuosos, but if you played them a pop song or a country song, they couldn't play it back to you to save their life. And it just blows my mind, as gifted as these people are. So it's obvious to me, you can hear something and you're going to play it right back. I get it.
Yes, sir. And I think it is a different animal. When you're working with people that play that style, that's definitely not a gift that I have. And that's the awesome thing about music. There's a place for so many different styles and many different things that people bring to the table. There are definitely players that I like to hire that I know play circles around me. But it's the point, I think, is when you're creating a record, it's finding the right team of people and the right musicians for that. And you're so right. Everybody has their place and everybody has their strong points. And
absolutely.
That's why I love it so much.
Now, let me ask you this. Since I'm a big fan of a lot of these people, do you work with Michael Omartian? Have you worked with him?
Oh, man. He is definitely one of my all-time favorite men that got to meet and work with. He's dude, that guy, his arrangement, his mind, I don't think is human. Actually, on the new record, he allowed us to take one of the medleys we did that he played on with us. He let us add it. I like to call it the Mastermind medley. I mean, from Christopher Cross to playing with Steely Dan to
everybody.
Dear Lord, how much stuff that he create. The guy's a genius. So he's a freak.
He's one of my all-time. He's in my Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Now,
yes, sir.
how about
Absolutely.
Larry Carlton?
I have not worked with him yet. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
listen
to.
to that. He's going to. Yeah, I'm sure.
If I were in your shoes, I'd find a way to work with him.
You trust me, we've reached out to a few. There's several that we want to come on the show. And, some people, they don't want to get either they see our show some kind of political side and they don't want to get involved with that, which I respect. And they don't want to even do something for either side. They just want to say we want to keep music away from anything like that. So some people see our show as too political for them, but respectfully have declined.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they need to read the Bible because in the end, the Lord wins. So
Yeah, I say the same thing.
That's the side I want to be on.
Well, now
Me too.
You just raised another issue. I'm certainly just a little podunk person out here in the mountains of North Georgia.
Yeah,
but-
he's like a retired lawyer that's worth like $100 million. Don't let him talk about podunk.
But I think that it is a challenge, especially with all the social media and everything, to kind of walk sort of a center line there and not offend
Yeah.
people. Tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of just trying to keep it where you're not alienating a potential segment of the audience.
Absolutely. When it comes to me personally, the only person, and this is just my conviction, for me personally, when I'm out social media and doing things, the only person I don't want to offend is Jesus Christ.
There you go.
That's my personal conviction. But I also have found that I'm not going to be able to reach people if all I do is, throw out offensive things and hateful things.
Right.
So I think what we try to do on the show is not condemn people for looking at things a certain way, but yet give them another option and a way that I believe that Christ says, look, you're not going to catch fish with, dynamite. I mean, although you can, but you're going to blow up a lot of them. You'll get some of them,
Right.
but some of them are going to be dead.
Mhm.
I guess you want to eat them because they're dead, but exploded.
Right.
Anyways, might be a bad analogy, but my point is that there's some ways that you can bring more people in just by showing the love of Christ versus beating them down.
Right.
And I think Governor does a great way with that. And when it comes with the artist, man, I try to keep out of the political side of things, unless somebody asks my opinion. If you want to ask my opinion, I will give it to you. But I'm not just going to blurt out,
No, I'm
nonsense.
with you on that. And it seemed like, I know, the Huckabee show and Mike Huckabee, he seemed like he's pretty laid back on that kind of thing. But, you can actually,
He really is.
that's the thing, the fruits of your, the fruits of your tree or whatever. I mean, you can tell that you're a Christian, and that I think that stands for a lot. You don't have to get out there and
Thank
say,
you, sir.
If you have to put a bumper sticker on your car that says, "Hey, I'm a Christian," there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, y'all had James Burton on the other day, did you not?
Oh, man. He's one of the nicest men on the planet. I really love work. He's been on the show 3 times. And, the movie, the Elvis movie just coming out,
Right.
and watching the movie, and, he's on the, I mean, I know it's not him, but James Burton's on the screen, and I'm thinking, man, I just played with him and we're about to play with him again.
Yeah.
It's just an iconic thing. Again, it's one of those things you kind of pinch myself. My son wanted to come meet him, and he was able to come this time and get to meet him and shake his hand. And James gave him a pick, and they got to talk a little bit about music and the advantages that I say advantages. The people I've got to meet and my family's got to meet. It's just life changing, man. Just amazing.
It is, man. I am tickled for you. I really am. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
I mean, no doubt, and I love it. And I think one of the greatest shows. Of course, all of them are good, but when y'all did that with Meatloaf, man, that was a rocking. I actually downloaded that. I've got that actually
Man.
downloaded where I can listen to that. That was a cool gig right there. There's no doubt.
Well, there's definitely we were trying to do a tribute. September coming up here in September would be a year that he was on our show, and the division of our country has caused. You have writers and publishers and different people that don't want their music on your show, and there's sometimes we get shut down for for whatever reasons that they have. If
Right.
some have been for politics, some has been because we're a Christian network.
Right.
And it's a shame because we wanted to be able to do a tribute to him, and none of the music was allowed, so we had to postpone it to hopefully we can get some talks and make some things happen for a later date. But the division is so crazy that it shouldn't bleed into music, man. I just
I'm
don't.
with you. Yeah.
I don't know why it does.
It's the bridge. I really feel like that.
Yeah.
It's the bridge.
I do. I agree.
Yep. It's
I
the
have
bridge.
another question. Where in Missouri are you from?
Joplin, Missouri, born and raised.
All right, okay. I'm just curious because my grandfather was from Kennett. He was born in Cape
yes, sir.
Girardeau and then lived down in the Boot Heel.
Boot Heel. We got all
I
kinds of
love
comments.
Missouri.
What's going on with that, Packy?
Let's see. We've got Jerry Forrester says, "Hey Sherry." We also have Kelly Black says, "James is the man."
Oh, listen to him. Okay. Hey, now,
And hang on. Jerry said, "Stephen, it's the fruits of your labor."
okay, whatever. Thank you. OaktreeStudios.com. Now, have you got another website people can go to, like if they would like to download some or, buy some of your music or anything like that?
If you go to OaktreeStudio.com, it has everything. It's got the Music City Connections, everything in one spot, so you don't have to go searching for everything. And if you go to iTunes or Amazon, anywhere that has digital, it's at all platforms.
But now you've got your own stuff out there. I mean, you've got your own, you and your brother both, right?
Yes, sir. Well, it's my brother you wouldn't want to hear him sing. He's probably, I won't point fingers as to who he might sound like.
Is he listening
but you
to
don't want
the
to hear him
show?
sing. But he's the engineer. He's kind of the guy behind the scenes
Right.
that makes things sound amazing.
He's
So
the
if
one that
it's
makes
broke-
y'all sound good, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah. But yes, we do. I have several records, and actually I got a solo record that's going to be coming out. I'm working on now, just a piano record, and there's a lot of great new music coming in the future soon.
Piano's my favorite, man. I'm gonna tell you. I
Thank
grew
you.
up with my mother playing piano in church. That's where I got started, and piano is my favorite instrument.
That's how I got dragooned and bamboozled into playing with Steven's band
Yeah,
a few years ago. He said he needed somebody to tickle them their ivories,
There
and
you go.
I got dragooned into it.
Dre, I'm hoping we're not leaving anything out, but we're got to get to a break. But like I said, I always enjoy what you're doing and support you in a big way. And anytime we can do anything,
Thank you.
just let us know what's going on, and we'd be more than happy to get you on.
Well, I truly appreciate the friendship, and I enjoy the funny texts that we go back and forth with.
Oh boy,
Sometimes I wonder.
Better not repeat any of them on the air.
Yeah. There's some things that you just stay in Textville.
There you
We'll
go.
just stay there.
I'm with you, man. Anyway, good deal. So, listen, you take care. Thank you for getting up early, and like I said, we'll keep up with you.
Yes, sir. Have an amazing day.
All right, take care.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.